Have you ever spent a whole evening worrying about something? How about one of those hard conversations that we all find ourselves having that just eat us up for ages afterwards as we dissect everything we could have said? My name is Ian Currey and this is Thinking Out Loud. Come on, let me tell you what I think. One of the things I've tried to learn over the years is to think before I speak. There are many times my brain runs very fast and I can formulate a really good one-liner smart mouth comment that will raise a laugh or at least a wry smile, but unfortunately may well also have a sting in its tail. I don't mean to hurt anyone. I don't even think about the implications. I just don't think through the consequences so well. The big problem with these one-liners, of course, is that while most people enjoy the smart comeback as humor, it can unintentionally be hurtful to someone else. If I just take a second more to think, the sting would be left behind and unsaid. Now, the person who got stung by whatever it was goes home, stews some more, and then lays awake thinking, I hate them or something. Meanwhile, I'm fast asleep dreaming of steam trains and roast lamb. While it is true I do need to watch my mouth, as I was told so often as a child, it is also true that letting things get to us and eat us from the inside out is not so clever either. We need to watch that too. Now there's a lovely sentence that has become rather famous that Jesus used. John recorded it this way: I am leaving you with a gift, peace of mind and heart. And the peace I give is a gift that the world cannot give. So don't be troubled or afraid. There's many a poem and even songs that have been written about this saying. Usually the focus is on the first part. I am leaving you with a gift, peace of mind and heart. It's sort of a comforting idea that God has bothered to give us peace as a gift. I sometimes think we use sayings like this to spur us on, to make us feel good, but without much really changing. There's something hiding in our fridge like that too. Chocolate. It really isn't good for us, but makes us feel good for a while, especially Cadbury's fruit and nut. Ooh, my favorite. But what is peace? Long ago, a friend and I were hired as camera operators for the Super Bowl. And for my English friends, that's sort of like being a camera operator for the FA Cup final or something. It was a big deal, even for both of us who barely knew how the game was played and certainly had very little interest in the sport. In any case, it was a well-paid job and we needed to be on time. We left plenty early enough and started our morning driving to the stadium. Unfortunately, that particular day, there was an ice storm in the city and traffic backed up behind several nasty accidents along our route. There was nothing I could do to change anything, so as I drove, I was humming along to my favorite classical music. My friend, though, wasn't nearly as calm. He was looking at his watch and making calculations, looking for alternate routes and calling others on the crew. I've no idea what he thought he would achieve, but all that activity was nonetheless his for the keeping. In the end, he turned to me and said, well, Aren't you worried at all? Don't you care? We're going to be late. Don't you know the crew call is in 20 minutes and we're still an hour away? This day is going to be ruined. I stopped humming, turned down the music, slowly turned in the direction of my friend, and then whilst driving, yelled, we're going to be late, we're going to be late, we're going to be late, whatever shall I do? I then turned back to look at the still crawling traffic, turned up the music, and asked, there now, did that help at all? My friend got the idea. He burst out laughing, finally realizing what I had long ago accepted. There was absolutely nothing either of us could do to change the situation. We were both in the same traffic, and we could either be agitated and fret, or enjoy the lovely music while doing our best to navigate. In a way, that is what peace is, isn't it? Acceptance of what's going on and getting on with life. Of course, there's much, much more to this. The part of the saying that we seem to be focusing on is that first part. But there is another piece to this same quote. It goes on to say, so don't be troubled or afraid. Peace isn't something that just happens. No, it's something you have to apply to situations. The gift, if you like, is more the ability to apply peace, or perhaps peace of mind, to a situation. Do you see how Jesus says, don't there? That's an instruction, isn't it? Don't be troubled or afraid. I used to think fear was something that was only possible to avoid if you were very brave or something. But that's not really it, is it? Being troubled, if you like, is a first step to being afraid. One thing quickly leads to another. Some people call it overthinking, but when you take a situation and instead of letting it go, putting things we cannot control or change out of our mind and accepting that we are in good hands, when we learn to trust God instead, then the road to this kind of peace begins. Now, I'm not saying that every time we get into a pickle, because we slept past the alarm or something, that we can just tell God, nothing I can do, it's all yours, and take no responsibility for our silliness. But I am saying that when Jesus said he had a gift for us that we could apply to situations of every sort, he means it. The gift of peace that Jesus is talking about is certainly something that, even though we may know we have available, is a gift that really only works when we decide to actually use it. Obviously, we all have different personalities and we handle things very differently. But wherever we are and whichever way we do things, there is always room for a lovely gift from Jesus. The end of the Super Bowl story is that indeed we did arrive very late, but so did everyone else. The crew chief asked, "Have you been waiting for me long?" We got our equipment set up, and before long, the horrendous drive in towards the stadium was forgotten. Our day, far from being ruined, is one we're still talking about all these years later. Certainly, having been a camera operator at the Super Bowl looks a lot better on the resume than stresses when stuck in traffic. Until next time, goodbye.